Hi, this is James from Tabletop Gaming Guild, and today we're going to go over the 2 to 4 player game, Shiver Me Timbers. So let's go down to the table here. I'll give you a general overview of the game, and then we'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so this is Shiver Me Timbers. This is what a typical setup of Shiver Me Timbers may look like. Now, the game comes with a quick start guide here, and you can use that to set up the map as shown right here for your sea routes and stuff, and to go between your islands and stuff. You could actually do a customized map through the game where each player gets to lay down sea routes and islands. But if you're just the first time playing, I suggest using the quick start guide to get the game set up. And it also comes with a beginning strategy guide. So each player can read through that while they play just to get a better idea of what strategies they should apply. Each player gets their own little ship, and it comes with 3 of everything. So you get 3 sail power, so you'll notice it has a skull here and 2 skulls on this mast, so this signifies that it can move 3 spaces. It also comes with 2 cannons, and it has a front-end mounted cannon that will, that will always be on the ship, so you have 3 power. And it comes with a space for holding 3 cargo. And this ship can be upgraded throughout the game. It's pretty nice on how it does that. It'll actually come apart like this, and you can add more of these cargo pieces. And the cannons will go into here, additional cannons and additional sails in here, and you all actually just adjust the sails accordingly, because it's a 4 skull sail, so you would take out the other 2 sails and put the sail in, so you go to 4 speed, and then when you go to 5 speed you put the front sail in, and here's like the little piece and the extra little cogs, so you can actually have more cargo throughout the game. And that's how you upgrade the ship itself. You do that through an action in the game. You get several different actions that you can take, but one of them is upgrade, and upgrading is just going to cost you the gold equal to what you're upgrading. So the 4th cargo hold is going to cost 400 gold, the 4th sail is going to cost 400 gold, the 5th sail would cost 500 gold, and so on and so forth. And each upgrade is an action in the game, and you get 3 actions on your turn. And it comes with a really cool player aid sheet, and each player gets one of these, all 4 players. And these will show all the different actions that you could do. And like I said, you get up to 3 of them. An upgrade ship was one of them. You can trade when you go into the ports. You look at the ports here, and Alascora doesn't have any goods, but if you look at this one, St. Tome, it does. You can have, this is cocoa, so you can buy cocoa for 100 gold each, or you can buy rum for 400 gold, or sugar. Now normally when they're on the top here, this is the best price, so you're going to get this cocoa, and you're going to go to another port where you can sell it for more money, like typically 400, so you're going to be looking at that. So if I bought it at the one port, I can sell it at this port for 400 gold. And it comes with a nice little chart that shows you what the cheap good is in each location and what the costs of each are. So you can become a merchant in the game by trading and selling goods. You can hunt for treasure, and simply what that is whenever you're at any one of these ports here, you're going to take an action to draw the top 3 cards from the treasure deck. You're going to pick one of these treasure cards and put the other 2 on the bottom of the treasure deck. When you pick a treasure card, you're going to notice that it's going to have a location. And notice, like if I'm in Alascora here, once you get to that location, you're going to set it down on your treasure map. And simply on your treasure map, what you're going to do is you're going to place a marker on the 14th spot. So notice this is 5, 10, 15, so the marker will be right here. And you're going to move a second marker for each action equal to the power of your ship. So if your power is 3, it'll go here. Another action will put you here. Another action will put you here. If you land on any of these colored die, you get to roll that die. Red dice are bad. So the red dice are bad. The red dice here will take away an upgrade on the ship. This take away cannons. This take away a good storage. This takes away sail. The white die is a good and the green are good. The white die will give you a free upgrade maybe. It's like a 50-50 chance of getting something on this die. Or you could get another action. The green die gives you more goods, which is really nice. So this is basically good. The white die is nice because they upgrade. So I was aim for that. So if you land on those spaces, you get that. And that's the same with this board too. On the board itself, when you're traveling, which is another action, you travel your speed. But throughout the game, these are going to flip each round. And this, when this runs out, this indicates the end of the game. And also, if someone completes 2 of their life goals, which I'll show you in a minute. I'll go over what you get when you start the game and the different things there, but this is just going to be the different actions. And this isn't going to be all the rules, it just gives you a general idea. So each round, this will flip, and this is either added or subtracted depending on whether it is positive or negative on the sail thing. And you're going to add that to your current speed. Now, there's an epic mode where these also flip for events too, which is really cool. But for your first game, just use these for your speed adjustment. So if I wanted to move this red ship here, I would take my speed, 3 plus 3, and I move 6 spaces. Now each of these little spaces is 3, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one thing you could do when you're going throughout the game is if you land on any of these ships, which the more these you take out, the more valuable they are. So this is worth 1 point at the end of the game. You could peek at these ships. And you could battle these ships, which is really cool. Here indicates how much the hull power is going to be on it. This is its speed and this is its cannons. And this is the reward for getting it. Sometimes it's gold, this one's a free upgrade. So when you fight these guys, which is going to be the same for just about anything else, whether you're going to fight this or you're going to try to take out a fortress, which has an effect too and a power, you're going to take its speed, whoever has the highest speed fights first or hits first, and you're going to take its cannons. You're going to take the difference in cannons and you're going to move this figurine over here to a starting location that equals. So let's say I attack the ship, which I will mention one thing. One action you can do is soften the ship a little bit. You can soften it twice, because if you soften it the third time, you'll sink it because that's the hull size. And if you soften it, you're going to put one of these little gold markers on it, and you're going to be lowering its power. If you ever get to the point where the difference is 4, you automatically defeat the ship. Now, let's say it's 2. So that means I would have 6 cannons and this guy would have 4. So throughout the game, you actually want to be able to upgrade the power of your ship before you actually start taking these little things out. You would then draw 4 of these combat cards, and your opponent would draw 4 of these combat cards also. And whoever had the highest speed is going to go first. And what you're going to do when you're looking at this is you're going to look at, some of them have special text on here, but you're going to look at the little dots up here. That's how much damage it does. So just to be simple, if I play this card first, high attack, the opponent's going to look at their hand, and if they have no high attack block or throw sand, which blocks everything, then they're going to have to take 3 damage. So if this was the first card I played and I softened them until they were down here, I could just automatically win. There's other cool cards in here that, like this one here, on my attack turn I just draw 2 cards, so I get more combat. And what you're going to do is if you don't knock someone off, you're going to be going back and forth with these cards until all the cards are used up. So even if I have more cards than my opponent, when I'm done with my stack of cards, we'll look at this marker, and whichever side it's on is the winner, or the loser. So if I push this over to this side far enough, or even to right here, the merchant ship loses. If it goes over here, the merchant ship wins. If the merchant ship wins, you lose an upgrade on your ship, which is bad. If it's in the middle, it's a draw. So that's a basic for combat, and that's a combat you're going to use when you're fighting even the other opponent. So if you go ship to ship that way, or if you're fighting a fortress. With the fortress, there's no speed, you get your first hit, and they have different effects that occur. So that's basically going to be your movement and attacking. You could also notice that some of these spots, if you land perfectly on this one here, there's a little green die. You get to roll that die as a bonus. One of them gives you 100 gold right here. The fog here gives you +1 strength for attacking, which is nice. And that's going to be that action. One of the other actions you could do, so you do the treasure, I went over that. You can move. You can also hunt monsters. And the way they're going to hunt monsters is you're either going to have to play the first mate or call the Kraken. And how do you do that? Well, let's go ahead and do the first mate. So how you're going to do first mate is you're going to have to go and get some crew. And you can go to the bay to get crew. And the way you're going to get the crew is when you go there, you're going to spend an action. And you can take whatever card, you could search this deck and take whatever card you want. And when you take these cards, they have an effect, they do something, and they have a cost. Like this is 0 cost. This would cost 400. You can have, now the golden rule pretty much this game is you can have 3 of any card. So I can have 3 of these guys in my hand. When I play them, they fire off an effect and then they get to put back into this deck. So that is going to be your crew. The other way, and the crew has a first mate, I believe, where is he? It can call the sea serpent or do this different action down here. When you call the sea serpent, I'll show you that in a second, they're going to go on one of these open water island spaces out here. But just to show you here, there's also this sort of curse deck. And you can go to Isle of Scora and get those. And again, you can have up to 3 in your hand. This is another place where you don't draw the top 3 and look at it, you just pick what you want. And calling the Kraken is a little expensive. You're going to have to spend 1 of each of these goods, and you call the Kraken. Now, when you call these monsters, which are right here, they're going to go on whatever sea space you want. It could be the one you're on. So if I'm on here, and I put this guy here, I will put my, we'll do the red one. I will put my little token on here. And what I'm trying to do is get the token all the way to the end of that dial. And to do that, for an action, I will draw a card from this monster deck, and I'll read it. And they're all different. So this one here says choose one option. I can move 1 space on it, I can move 3 spaces, or I can move 4. If I move the 3 or 4, I'll have to roll this red die that many times. So here's 2, and here's 3 more. And again, this takes down upgrade, sales, and cargo hold. Now, when you go to fight these monsters, there's going to be a lot of loss of upgrades and stuff. Some of them you can spend goods. So you actually want to be pretty much completely loaded up your ship before you attack these monsters. The same thing with the Kraken. If the Kraken comes out, it's this too. If you defeat either of the monsters, you're going to get to look through the bonus tiles for that monster. So there's 3 for the Kraken and 3 for the Kraken, 3 for the sea monster. And they're all going to have really nice rewards on the back. Once these run out, there's no more tokens. They're worth 4 points each. much. You can summon the sea monster, sea serpent, the kraken over and over again, but only 3 people can get points for that, so only the first 3 defeats. Once the kraken is defeated, you'll just simply take this token off the map. Now there's a lot of other effects that are cool and stuff that you could do with the crew deck and the curse deck, but we won't get into that. Another action you could take is you can get a mission. You have to go to Port Royal for missions, and missions going to work similar to the treasures. You're going to draw the top 3, and again, the rule with the cards is you could have 3 unfinished missions or 3 unfinished treasures or whatnot. Once they're finished, it doesn't count towards the count. You're going to take a look, and this is what you're going to have to do, and this is a reward. Some of them give really nice points throughout the game. So that went over fighting for the most part. That went over the the crew, and actually these are called the ritual deck. And that went over hunting for treasure and the basic stuff that you can do throughout the game. That is the mechanics for your turns. Now let's get into the goals that you're going to have in the game. And I showed you that you can get points from these monsters. You could also get points from getting the different treasures, which the points are right up here. You get points for completing those missions. Some of the treasures will give you wishes, and you're going to look at the top 3, hand them to your opponent to the right, and they are going to pick one that you can't pick, and then you're going to try to complete these. These ones will complete finding a soulmate, which is going to be worth 4 points. So let's go over what your main goals in the game and basically what you get to start the game and how that works. Okay, so just a reminder that this isn't a rules video. This just gives you a general idea of how the game plays and what you're doing. So just keep that in mind. Now what we're going to do here is we're looking at the life goals board. I already went over the battle thing, which is pretty simple in the game and really straightforward. But what you're going to get with your player board is you're going to get your treasure map. Again, that's for when you're going to try to hunt for these treasures. You'll place them here. When they're done, they go in your cargo. And you can keep them here, or what I didn't mention is you can sell the treasure for its gold amount, which is on the bottom. Now, if you sell the treasure, of course, you don't have it anymore, so you don't get those points. So if you complete a treasure, they go here. At the start of the game, what you're going to do, which I know did this a little backwards, but I just wanted to go over the really cool actions and all the different things that you can do on the turn, which is a lot. But you're going to take a look at these life goals, and there's 10 different life goals that will be randomly placed out on here. And you know, it's like this is for the 3-player game. If you're going to play the 4-player game, which I actually have enough on there, you're going to put that out. And you're going to look at these life goals, and you're going to decide which ones you're going to try to attempt. So this is defeat 2 fortifications. And fortifications are not easy to defeat. Or you'll try to get 7,000 gold in your chest. Now, one thing I didn't mention throughout the game is if you want, you can put gold into this chest. If you actually put gold into this chest, it's not accessible for the rest of the game. You can't use it to spend anything on, and you can't retrieve it. So putting 7,000 gold in here, you're going to pretty much be a merchant throughout the game. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Plus, you're also hampering yourself in being able to use that gold to upgrade your ship or buy more goods or other things. So here's another one here. You can hide 3 treasures in your chest, which you can actually hide these treasures in your chest. You know, you won't ever be able to get the ability on the treasure. Some of them have like long-term abilities that you can use throughout the game, which is nice. Like you can get +1 to search and other things. You can put those in your treasure chest to keep them safe, and keep the points. But again, you don't get that passive ability on some of them. So you're going to pick 2 of these. And how you're going to do that is you got these little tokens here that come with the game, and they have little numbers on the back. You're going to correspond those numbers to the location on here, which is marked. It'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. You're going to pick 2 of them, and you're going to put them in your red bag. And at the end of the game, you'll pull them out. You'll pull them out when you complete your goal too. So at the end of the game, you can show which ones you went for, but when you actually complete your goal, you're going to put your little token on there. And if you're the first, it's 10. If you're second, it's 5. If you're third, well, tough luck. So you're going to try not to probably guess the same as another opponent. You're going to probably try to do something a little different. There's enough on there that you'll probably be okay, but you're probably going to share some life goals with other opponents, so you're going to be fighting for them or racing for them. This creates a really good way to drive the game forward. You're going to probably notice if someone's trying to do El Dorado and starts putting gold in their chest as fast as possible, which at the end of the game, each gold, which is going to be 1,000, is worth 1 point. So in the game, you're going to have these little gold chips, which are 100 each, and you're going to have a 500, and you're going to have the 1,000. And it takes a bit to get up to 1 gold coin. You're going to start the game itself, though, with 300 gold, and that'll go in there. So you're going to probably notice which life goals that people are going to go for, so you might want to prioritize ones that you think multiple people may be competing with you with. The other thing that will help you out at the start of the game is you're going to pick an ability, and everyone has the same little stack, and whatever ability you want, you're going to, you're going to put on your player board, like this one here, Haggler. I get 200 gold. I get 200 gold every time I take a sail action. So that'll go down here, and that's a permanent ability throughout the entire game. And multiple people can have the same abilities, no big deal. But you're going to pick that out when it starts. The other thing you're going to do is you're going to look through these discs, and they give you different little bonuses, but the other thing they do is they give you your starting location. So you're going to pick which one you want, and that's your starting location. So you show that here, and you'll put your ship there at the start of the location. That's basic setup for your player board. You can place the cards you haven't finished where these little arrows are, and again, you can't have more than 3. If you draw more than 3, or you keep more than 3, you have to discard 1 and continue on. So that's that. You're going to either get points from completing your life goals, you're going to get points for the completing missions or gaining treasures, you're going to get points for sinking ships, and you're going to get points for some of these have saving long lost relatives or finding your love. One of the life goals is find a soulmate, so people might be racing for that. And again, that's going to be a treasure card that gives you 3 wishes, and you'll look through this 3 cards of the wish deck again, and the one that your opponent gets to remove one of them from you being able to pick. So that's the general gist of the game. Again, this isn't really rules. It comes with a really good little action sheet player aid that'll show you what all the different actions you can take throughout the game. The game itself is relatively simple to complete, but you have so many options, so that's why it's taking so long to go over what you can do. So let's go ahead back up to the table here, and I'll give you my final thoughts on Shiver Me Timbers. Okay, so that was Shiver Me Timbers. Shiver Me Timbers, I will say, when I went over the overview, that just gives you a general idea how to play the game. That's going to get you started for the game. It's not really meant for rules, but just give you an idea how the game plays. Now, I will say Shiver Me Timbers is my favorite pirate game, period. It's my favorite pirate game. It's one of only 4 games that I have that I ever give a top 10 rating to. I love this game. It is an open sandbox world where you can just go and do basically any of your little piratey dreams. You can become a merchant. You can sink ships, different privateer ships throughout the game. You can sink your opponent, or you can attack your opponent's ship. You can attack fortresses. You can complete missions for the governor and help him out. You can go hunt for treasure. You can go do the supernatural stuff, you can go to Isla Oscura and get those ritual cards and summon the Kraken, or create a maelstrom and change the different sea routes. You can do all these different things. You can win search of your life goals, which give you a little direction throughout the game, but you don't have to follow those. If you just want to sink ships the entire game, you can, and you still might win. So there's a lot of avenues and a lot of choices that you can make throughout the game. I love how much detail they put into the little ships that you get in the game. How they can separate, and you can increase the cargo on there, how you place the sails in to increase the speed throughout the game, how you put those little cannons in. I love that. It's a nice little toy factor to the game. The component quality for the entire game is amazing. If I had to make even the slightest complaint in the entire game, is that the little bases for the port tokens that show you like the goods that trade, they're supposed to stand up. It was a little too small, but that's a really small gripe, and I'm just going to glue something onto the bottom of them, those bases, to keep them from tipping over. Other than that, production quality, amazing. It's an amazing, amazing game. If you are a fan of the pirate theme and you're looking for the perfect sandbox pirate game, this is it. This game is amazing. Like I said, I just can't believe, like, going into it, I've played a lot of pirate games, and most of the pirate games have been very disappointing for meeting up to my expectations. This game met my expectations and exceeded them. It's going to be in my collection forever. I'm very, very happy to have played it. So that is my thoughts on Shiver Me Timbers. Thank you for watching.